Hello everyone, Scott here with Android iPad TV. Last week we talked about 10 things I love about iOS and 10 things I love about Android. This week we're going to be exploring the opposite. 10 things I dislike, or 10 grievances with iOS, and 10 grievances with Android. Please use the links provided to go back and forth and view each video. Hope you enjoy.
My first grievance with iOS is it's obviously closed source system. This basically results in having a lack of customization and user control. Obviously there is a mild degree of customization. Of course, I can create, wallpapers in the background and a different wallpaper for my lock screen, and I can sort things according to folders and things like that. But there isn't going to be things of a third-party nature like widgets and things like that that I can put on there. And this taskbar is limited to whatever push notifications I can put in it, but there really isn't a whole lot that I can do to customize it. Just really kind of straightforward and simple, which a lot of people like, but definitely a closed operating system. My next complaint is the lack of true multitasking. In operating systems such as WebOS, you have these great thumbnails and things like that you can switch between, and the new Ice Cream Sandwich 4.0 will also offer that. But this here, the only thing I can do is I can with the iPad I can flip up like that, and I can go to a different application like this. So that becomes more of an app switching function. And so now I've got my Amazon Kindle open. Otherwise I can also go back to the home screen like this, and let's say I want to go to the web and go like that. So here I have the web open, and let's go back to now Words with Friends, and let's see whether it's saved. Nope, it had to reload because it really didn't save it in the background like true multitasking. Instead, this is what's considered app switching, which means it has to reload it in the background every single time. WebOS limits your ability to customize your home screen. There's no widgets, which to me help so that I can see what's going on without having to open up an application. Also, iOS won't allow me to add like quick shortcuts to applications. Certain applications sometimes in Android have extra shortcuts that you can add to your home screen to quickly launch certain aspects within the application. As a quick example here, see, I could launch Gtasks in Android, and then I'd have to click on the to-do button, which doesn't take too much time, but it's a lot faster for me just to be able to click right here, and it's already in the to-do application ready for me to type. So it's one less step that I have to take on an Android device because I can pin third-party application shortcuts. The only thing you can possibly customize is you can put bookmarks from Safari on your home screen. So there's my various bookmarks that I've created. But other than that, there really aren't any application shortcuts. To me, just folders and applications, it's merely just an app launcher as its OS, and so I would like to have purpose behind my screens. Otherwise, why have multiple screens? I would rather have all my applications on one screen, but I'm not able to do that because I have so many applications and they don't all fit on one screen. So I have to create folders, and those get annoying because that brings me actually to my next point. Folder organization is annoying because you're only limited to a certain amount of applications that you can have inside each folder. That's close to being maxed out, and so I think I can have one more application in this folder, and then I can't put any more. And so if there's something else that might fit in the category of lifestyle, I'm limited to one more application, and if I go over that, I've got to create a totally separate folder called Lifestyle 2 or whatever, and that to me is really obnoxious and really limits the ease of access for my home screens. Not only am I limited in the number of apps I can put in a folder, but then I can't, like let's say this Our Groceries app, I thought also matched, my shopping folder or something like that, or I wanted to have it in another folder so I could find it easier in case I couldn't remember that it was in the lifestyle folder. Applications don't always fit into one nice, neat folder. Sometimes they have multiple categories. Even the App Store has multiple categories per application. So why not be able to put the same application in 5 different folders? With Android, there really isn't any limitation in folders. You can put folders in folders, you can put apps in multiple folders, and there just really isn't that limitation. iOS came a long way in trying to fix its notification system with iOS 5. It was just truly obnoxious and annoying the way it used to be. So now they actually have it embedded here in their notification bar, and it's a lot better. You know, I can see that I have some things going on with Words with Friends. I've got some calendar appointments, a little application there that's giving me a reminder. However, my complaint is they, you know, that they didn't fix is I don't have any notification up here that I even have anything in that notification bar. And you know, on the lock screen, sometimes they'll show up here if they're new notification. But if I didn't go immediately to it and address the issue, it's now completely gone. It's not on the lock screen anymore. And if I forget to check this bar, you know, I'm not being reminded. Whereas, you know, I love this on Android here. I can see all these notifications here, and so if I haven't dismissed them yet, you know, there they are. And you know, I can go ahead and dismiss one. There we go, dismissed. And you know, now I have one less up there, but you know, I can always remember that they're there because I can see them in the notification bar. So I just wish that iOS had something similar. This point may actually come as a surprise to some people, because I'm sure a lot of people think that iOS somehow is more stable than Android, and maybe it's just an iPad issue rather than an iPhone issue. But I actually find my Android almost never crashes. It opens applications and hardly ever crashes. But iOS, for some reason, I can't get it on certain applications, and there's several of them. You know, I can't get it to be stable. There, it opened that fine. And we crashed. Now, most of the time it doesn't crash. It's like 10% of the time, you know, if that. But I find that I crash less than 1% of the time on my applications in Android, and I find it kind of frustrating when I'm sitting there, especially in gaming applications. That's the ones I think crash the most consistently, and I don't have gaming applications ever crash on me on Android, so it kind of frustrates me a little. My next complaint is with iOS keyboard. It's a decent keyboard, but they don't give you the ability to purchase other keyboards and tag them on. The only thing you can do is jailbreak when a jailbreak is available, and install additional keyboards, I think, through a jailbreak. But there's even jailbreaking is pretty limited in what you can do. Like, I'd like to see a fifth row up here with numbers if possible, or you know, something where, you know, I can long press and get a number like on Android. You know, some sort of customizability, or you know, as I'm typing a word, I'd like to have suggestions up here as Android gives me on certain keyboards, and I just like to have choice, and that's the biggest thing, is I don't get any choice on my keyboard, and I find that this keyboard is not as functional and lags a little bit, and I'd prefer some of my Android choices. Next up is my annoyance with the App Store. Let's say I want to get this application that's free today, and I also see that I have 4 updates, and so I want to get to that column and handle those updates. My first annoyance is the fact that I have to always enter my password each time, and you know, that's good for security purposes, but I would rather it remember me from time to time so I didn't have to do this. I'm gonna enter my password and come right back. Okay, I've got it entered in, and once I press OK, watch what happens. It kills my App Store and pushes me over to a different screen and starts installing the app. And you know, it's nice and all that I know that app is installing, but I wanted to install those updates, so you know, it closed the app on me. I didn't like that, so now I have to go back here and reopen that again and come all the way back over here, and hopefully one day it'll actually respond. This is one problem I have with the App Store, is how slow it is. And then finally I can now install all of these, and it closes again while it installs those, and I don't understand. I don't get the purpose of it closing every single time. Now this is fixed through a jailbreak, but if you're not jailbroken, then you're limited to how many applications you can put here. iPad allows for a total of 6 applications, which isn't bad, but I believe iPhone is only you can only have 4, And see, I can't swipe back and forth or add any extra applications down there, which is kind of annoying because I'd like to have more. And on Android here, you can see I can flip to that side, there's an extra 5. I can flip to that side, an extra 5. And it goes in a circular fashion. And that's just really nice, you know, where I can put my favorite applications more readily available on the system tray. And last but not least, I've been talking a little bit about jailbreaking. And, you know, before iOS 5, I was jailbroken on this device. And then, you know, I updated to, you know, iOS 5.0 and then 5.01. And each time you update, it seems, it breaks your jailbreak. And that untethered jailbreak hasn't come around yet for 5.0.1. But I wish that, you know, the jailbreak could actually stay jailbroken all the time. I know on Android, every time I make an update or a change or flash a different ROM, the rooting stays the same. I always am rooted.
Well, hopefully this gives you some better insight into things that I find frustrating with both iOS and Android. Be sure to check out my last week's videos. I covered 10 things that I love about iOS and 10 things that I love about Android. Those videos will be great to contrast with the videos here and really help you make a decision as to what you might prefer and what might interest you. If you like my videos, please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. You can also follow me on Twitter at AndroIPad. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Also, be sure to tune in the next 2 weeks. I'm going to be featuring 15 applications I love in Android and couldn't live without, as well as 15 applications I couldn't live without in iOS. And so tune in, and over the next 2 weeks I should be posting those videos as well.